Welcome back to another episode of our conversations with contributors. And I was just talking to Jordan about other things, and we're like, let's do this conversation. Jordan, I'm so glad you're here. You're one of our contributors. You're one of our climbers, our event planning climbers you shared your story about what this last year has been for you and for Gems for Gems. And from the outside and things I'm hearing from you, what an encouragement to so many people that are still on the climb, still trying to find their way out of what this pandemic has done to their events. Thanks so much for joining me just for this quick conversation today.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm happy to be here, and I'm really grateful to have been part of your magazine as well. Like I am in good company, and I appreciate that.
When we talk about the climb, I've been having conversations with a couple of climbing friends. So one is an ice climber, one is a rock climber, and they both talk about sticking with it and falling over and over again. My friend that is the ice climber, he talks about changing conditions on the ice, and you have to manage that as you're climbing. Tell us a little bit about where you were at in 2019 with Gems for Gems, and then where you were at when you actually had to make the change when we were all, I think it was middle of March 2020, and things changed significantly for you. Could you tell us a little bit about what that looked like for you last year?
Sure. So much of the strength of Gems for Gems has been in the community and through in-person events for fundraising, our impact events, like for instance, our Thrive program, where we taught self-defense, resilience, financial literacy, and a few other things. And that was all magic because it was in person and people just loved it. So when COVID hit, it was terrifying. I did not, that was what we were known for. So I didn't know the way forward. Thankfully, there was a grace period because everyone was locked down. Everyone didn't know what the heck to do. Everyone was trying to fumble their way through and do as much justice to what they could still do and try to figure out a way forward. So I was grateful for that, and it gave me an opportunity to really sit back and kind of get my head straight, which it's hard to do that in the beginning when you're scared and everything you've ever worked for is going up in smoke right in front of your face. And that's what that's the spot everyone was in. And then the issue with the domestic abuse world too is that what was worse is that the need was going up significantly. So we didn't have the luxury of stopping. We had to keep going. And stopping would of course have been a temptation for a lot of people in that because it was scary and it was unlike any challenge. And it was weird because it was a personal, it felt like a personal trauma and then also professional trauma and everything all at once. You don't normally get the duo coming at you at the same time. So yeah, it was very scary, but I took the time to be able to figure out what I could still do and decided to do that as best as I possibly could. So the first year ended up being a lot of trial and error. We added new things. So we did a few things smaller and tried to support the people who were already in our networks with more support from our community. So we really rallied around our scholarship recipients. And that went beautifully. We had support from our celebrity ambassadors with that too, and it was really lovely. And we just saw another level of what Gems for Gems was capable of. And then in 2021, we leveled out and started getting a stronger action plan ahead of us once we realized that we were not going to be able to wait this out. And as soon as that happened, that's when things really started kicking into another gear. And we're really pleased with where we are now and where we're headed.
And it's interesting when you're talking about your journey and I, in our promotion for this next issue, so everyone knows it's the climb issue, but we talk about this valley of discouragement and then moving to this base camp where we're trying to map a route of what does it look like. And then some people are still on the climb. Some people are seeing a little bit of that view from the top, but exactly what you have just described is that it's about really moving as leaders, moving from this place where we're feeling it personally And then the people that we're trying to serve are feeling it, but we can't check out. We can't leave the work behind. And like you said, for women that are in difficult situations, abusive situations, trying to move into a better space in their lives, that doesn't just end. There is even more of that happening, and was for you as a team. I love when you say in the article that you wrote for us, so as one of the climbers, one of these 10 climbers that we're featuring, you talk here a little bit about moving what you were doing to a more accessible kind of platform. So moving things online. How do you feel like that has served your team? And maybe what were some of those challenges in making that adaptation? So you did say that a couple of things you're just waiting, you're going to do the in-house or the in-person events in time. But when you moved the programs online, was that an easy shift for you? Were you already doing that? Or did you have to reinvent or invent something new where people could continue to connect?
So in some ways I did that well, in some ways I did it poorly. Where I created new opportunities, I did it very well. But new opportunities were customized for the online world. For instance, our swag line, that went very well. We sold out of a lot, and we're still getting sales, which is fantastic. So that was fantastic, but it was designed for the environment it was born in, essentially.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So switching in person over to virtual, a lot of organizations had a lot of success in the first year and now are having substantially less success. I opted out of doing that. So because of what I said in my article, where our Thrive program was so successful in person, but so much of the success was from having people together. So I didn't want to dilute it. I wanted to be able to relaunch it when we could do it properly. So I might have failed in that in that category because I just didn't show up there because I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to not do it justice. And I'm comfortable with that decision. I'm happy with that decision. I would hate for it to lose steam because it was done poorly, and then not be able to do it justice in the future. So yeah, the things that I did well were the ones built for the situation. And so GEMS has really evolved because of it. So we've really doubled down on our strong suits, and in those areas we're doing very well and staying alive, which is 99%.
I was going to say
right now. Yeah.
Well, staying alive and probably staying connected as a team. When we talk about connection points, that also includes you and your team, and you've got a large ambassador team that are out there really sharing the message and being part of what you're creating through GEMS. And I'm honored to be one of the ambassadors as well. So glad to just have started that journey with you. Have you found that the ambassador team has embraced connecting with each other on social media platforms, on Facebook, on some of these digital platforms that, again, keep it alive and keep the conversation going?
So we were really fortunate to not have to adapt that at all. Our ambassador platform is online already, so people had already joined and grown within GEMS with that as part of the process. So that was incredibly fortunate. But GEMS ambassador team is the heartbeat behind GEMS for GEMS. So it has been difficult because everyone, every piece of that heart has been feeling different forms of suffering at different times throughout this entire COVID experience. So how we do things has had to be given a lot more grace than we've ever had to before, because people just don't have the same stamina. They don't have the same, everyone is struggling in one form or another, or in 50 forms all at the same time. So it's been different. It's been difficult to navigate that in some ways, but at the same time, when you look at it and you understand it, for the first time, we don't have to imagine or give grace for what we can't see, because we see what makes sense for all of us to be struggling with. So
Such
just
a,
looking at it.
yeah, and such a beautiful example of what maybe some of us have been trying to get over or hold our breath until things change and we can get back to normal and dress up and be whatever we are or whatever we create ourselves to be when we're out there in the public. The gift in all of this is that I think we are getting very real with each other, and exactly as you're saying, that it's the work, and the work needs to continue, and people want it to continue, and they want to be invested in that, while at the same time of being real with ourselves and real with those that we're working with, so that we, I think, move forward even more effectively. And when we're connecting, everything that I do these days is about connection first. So if we're really talking about connection first in the team context, then we need the room to be real and to be with each other in, in the good times and some of those difficult times as we're trying to manage through. With your next year coming up, so we're looking at 2022. A lot of my clients and people that I'm working with, and even through the magazine, I've been having so many great conversations with event planning climbers and looking at what the next year looks like. A lot of people aren't just waiting to get back to normal. They're really almost excited that there's going to be a different iteration of the work coming in the next year, and some anticipation around that. What are you looking at for 2022? And I know you've got a new program that's just started, just launching as we speak right now, Hope's Cradle, but there will probably be some iterations and changing of that as you move forward into the next year, as well as your scholarship programs, all these other things as things start to open up. What are you excited about for 2022 at GEMS?
Well, I'm really excited for, excuse me, potentially closing out this year with our first Hope's Cradle, which I encourage anyone listening to take a peek at our website and learn more about it. But essentially, it is a cradle where people can abandon their babies safely, as opposed to what has currently been happening, which is not safe. So we are really looking forward to being able to scale that program, to be able to scale our scholarship program and be able to reach more women with it. We've recently just announced, not announced, but we have issued 2 more scholarships recently, which is fantastic. So yeah, I'm just looking for those 2 elements of Gems for Gems to really be scaled and made incredibly strong. I'm just not worrying about the stuff that we can't control. I am focusing on the stuff that we can control and that we know we can work well with or without COVID. I think consistency is huge. And I think I don't want to be interrupting things when COVID does eventually end. I want to be able to have it so that what we're doing works now and will work then.
Yeah. And you have already shown that over the years that you have been in GEMS, building the team, and the people that are really having the opportunity to be part of GEMS, and the support that they're feeling and the community they feel there. It's amazing that it will continue, and that you're a doer, you're an action person, you're ready to go. And I'm so proud to know you, and that there's more to come. So for anyone watching, make sure that you're checking in. Where can people find you if they want to learn more about Hope's Cradle, or what else is going on for GEMS for the next year?
We are everywhere. Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and our website is gemsforgems.com. But please, one thing I would like anyone to know is that we're still open to questions, to any sort of concerns or resources that you need. Just let us know. We are ready and willing to help, and it's what drives us. And Lisa, I personally am thrilled that you're an ambassador, and having you on our team is an honor.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And so if you have been watching our conversations with contributors and you are interested in reading the upcoming Moments magazine, you will have the chance to do it on November the 10th. That's in a week. in a
Crazy.
week. And we are having a virtual launch that evening. So 7 p.m. on November the 10th. We would love for you to be there. It's free to get your ticket. Pete Woods is going to be speaking that night. We've got a panel of climbers. We've got a couple of cool gifts to give away that evening. And you can get your tickets at candyconsulting.ca/moments-magazine. The countdown's there. Your link is there. All the information about the copy is there. Would love to have you there. But then if you're in the Calgary area, just a reminder that we have booked a climb day with Pete. So Pete is actually a climbing coach as well. And so we're going to be at Boulder Climbing Community. That's going to be on the 20th. It's a Saturday afternoon, no experience necessary. And I was joking the other day that I'm bringing my whole family because they also have to, you know, try climbing while I'm trying to climb. No experience necessary. It's an add-on when you go to purchase your ticket for the virtual launch. But if you are in that Calgary area, we've got a few spaces available. Love to have you with us. And I am a firm believer of we can be talking a lot, we can be in our heads a lot, but until we actually get in motion, and that's what that climb day is about, is really trying something new, get your body moving, get out of your little box. I'm in my little, you know, my home office box a lot. You might be the same. So make sure you join us. Again, the ticket link is candyconsulting.ca/moments-magazine. Thank you so much, Jordan, for writing for this issue. I'm so thrilled to share your story. And I hope people reach out and learn more about what GEMS is doing. So many great things coming up.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
We'll talk to you again soon.